The Venture Brothers is an adult animated comedy that answers the world's #1 question ever since the primordial soup got cable. What if a TV show went hard? Harder than that time they said pissed on regular show. Harder than when they killed that guy in Goosebumps by turning him into a garden gnome. What goes harder than that? How about shapeshifter David Bowie fist fighting on top of a stealth jet in the middle of the Grand Canyon? That's hard. That's the Venture Brothers. It's a show that, in basic terms, asks the question of what the world would look like if Dr. Doofenshmirtz, Scooby-Doo, and people who wear jumpsuits were all real and they're all homicidal maniacs. But it doesn't leave you hanging on that nut-clenching premise, because Venture Bros is here not just to show you some of the craziest shit you've ever seen, but to come up with an even crazier explanation for why this is just another Thursday in the show's world. From the highly paraphrased words of co-creator Doc Hammer, I've always been really excited about the idea that there's a group that lets people solve my comic book problems. There's a group that goes, okay, this is why the army doesn't kill the Green Goblin. And then we get to have a character go, well, I just want to kill him, he's being a dick. That's half the magic of the show. It's not just what if someone shot Batman in the face, it's what if someone shot Batman in the face and it got them in trouble with their 9-to-5 supervillain job. They pour so much time and effort into showing what it means living day to day as any given costume dickhead in this crazy-ass world. And these interactions are what ground the Venture Brothers as something deeper than just Scooby-Doo Batman crossover land. In effect, the show may be a balls to the buzzsaw action thriller, but it's also everything that comes with that. It's all the stupid moments in between super science theatrics and acid magnets when a supervillain goes to the mall, when Boy Adventurer gets his pants wet on a date when the henchmen are just hanging around doing nothing.
Papa Smurf has a f***ing beard! They're mammals!
Always getting into the realistic interactions that people would have in these situations. Not the he's right behind me, isn't he kind, but maybe more like,
release my family and that will be the end of this. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you.
Okay, sorry.
That was so scary! That was so scary! Oh my god, that was so scary!
and this honest dialogue is so refreshing. It's not characters mugging the camera for Marvel laughs, it's real people getting threatened with a laser ray and pissing their pants over it, and I think that's beautiful. Sure, there are god-tier badasses in superhero land, but there's also boneheads running around in butterfly costumes for minimum wage. And big nerds who like TF2 because they're dorks. And speaking of refreshing, I just gotta say, God, this show is breathtaking. Just take a second, look at all these absolutely beautiful backdrops. Or just pay attention to the background of literally any scene of the show, it's gorgeous. And you can really tell if they gave it their all to make every environment come off as expressive and characterful as possible. Oh, and the art style, I love these thick comic book outlines on everything. It just feels great to look at, and complements the personality of the production so well, it's just a great looking show, holy cow. And it might sound like I'm just fawning over nothing here, which I am, but the environment design is just one of a million ways that the show is constantly selling you on its world. Everything from a yard sale to testicular torsion is an opportunity not just to grow the characters, but to make their world feel lived in. With new ideas, new faces, and new opportunities to deliver some of the hardest one-liners in television history. Because the show may be called The Venture Brothers, but the main characters are more of a vessel that we get to see this whole spectacle through. The show's attention constantly shifts from the titular morons to henchmen, secret government organizations, gay magicians, and best of all, the villains. At the center of this crazy-ass world is a story about bad guys. Not about how they get stopped by the heroes, but about their lives. Some of them do it because it's their job. Because they got wrapped up with these lunatics one way or another and figured that commanding a giant flying murder tank was just as good as a 9-to-5. Some of them have lifetime grudges and joined the scene to destroy their enemies professionally. There's specialists, mad scientists, and longtime professionals calling shots from the top. And then there's Brick Frog. In the grand context of the Venture Brothers, Brick Frog is a background character. He doesn't really do anything beyond the subtle implication that he's a frog that throws bricks, and something about that resonates with me so hard. Like, there'll be this gathering of the most evil, high-profile villains on the planet, and then there's my man just hanging out as part of the crew. And even if he can't ransom the president or invent a dick shrinking ray, he's still getting out there every day and throwing bricks through people's windows. And that reminds me of this kind of thematic underline that organized villainy is a universe equivalent to artistic expression. That the guy who started the whole thing was just looking for people to join his sousaphone band and it turned into a whole thing from there. Maybe Brick Frog is the worst supervillain on the planet. Or maybe the fact that he's got the balls to do any of this in the first place makes him just as much of a diabolical badass as anyone else. I think there's something kind of beautiful about that. The Venture Brothers is a show about life. About how whether we're living in urban America or urban America with a guild of all-powerful supervillains trying to take over the world, we're all big stupid heads who don't have a clue what the hell we're doing. And I don't know about you, but that's the most reassuring thing I've ever heard. That's the Venture Brothers.
I'm right on the verge of an important breakthrough.
Ah, come on, Doc. We're on the same team here.